Can you read the 2024 budget? And you can read the 2024 budget, the expenditures, and then the proposed budget for 2025. So you'll read this title, and then that, and then that, and then that. So that is the difference for that. So use this as a way to feel that helps. Or do you want a yellow piece? You got a yellow piece of paper that might be better.
That works.
So it's kind of small. You'll have to follow along in your handout. Oh, we got so much space.
Election wages, elected officials, $4,500 in 24. Expenditures, $4,500. Proposed budget 25 is $4,500. Executive professional technical services advertising. 2024 budget, 1245. Expenditures in 24 were 1357. Proposed budget for 25 is 1500. Executive other purchase services, printing services. 24 budget was $1,000. Expenditures $1,041. Proposed budget for 25 is $1,000. Other purchases, services, dues and subscriptions, $20. Expenditures $208. Proposed for 25 is $225. Executive supplies and offices. Nothing.
There is no budget.
No. $37 expenditures, $2,500. Executive other charges and expenses, no budget in 2024. $91 expenditures, $125, 2025.
So I don't know if people are okay with you just reading the sections and not all of the detail. Before, we used to just give a budget that had the actual DRA section, but everyone kept asking for detail, which is why it's presented this way with all the detail. So you can ask them, or you could just keep going the way you're going. Maybe the others want to do a round robin and everyone takes their turn reading sections. I don't know how you want to do it.
Need the subtitle executive?
The subtotal, where it says subtotal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just.
That's what we used to give. Again, it's just broken down into these details because everyone keeps asking.
What's everybody
details.
you want to?
It's going to be all night if you read line by line.
I know.
It doesn't stop people from asking questions on the second line.
Is everybody good with the subtotal?
Yeah, as long as we can ask, we can go up, could you go up to that?
Yep.
Yeah, Doris?
I would suggest reading your subtotals and then asking the audience if they have any questions within that subtotal. And then you can address the questions that have been.
Okay.
There you go.
So I'll do the subtotals for the account title that I just did. 2024 budget, 6765. Expenditures were 7234. Proposed budget for 2025, 7450. Any questions? Subtotal financial admin,
You skip town clerk.
town clerk. There it is. 2024 budget, 23,200. Expenditures, 18,026. Proposed budget 2025, 15,626.
Why did the, election section go up when there's only been one election?
Oh, there it is, right there. But that went down. That went down to 87%.
The town clerk election,
The last one.
it went up
I think that's
2,500.
that's a cost for the tablet for ADA requirements.
Excuse me?
The state has new election requirements for ADA, the American Disabilities Act, and so I think we're required to buy a special tablet for that. And that's why it was budgeted. That's why it went up.
Weren't those $600? Are we getting more than one, or?
Jeanette, I don't remember, I think it's. the
We have to
cost of
get a certain tablet based on what the state specifies, and the state doesn't have that information right now, so they are the ones who said to plan on it being around $2,000.
Okay, thank you. Sure.
Financial admin, 126,35 for 2024 budget. Expenditures were 126,859. 2025 budget, 135,616. Which one they use?
You just did financial admin.
Assessment?
Question?
Oh, Terry.
What is the, professional technical services, other services? Is, they're gonna, like $10,000 there, why is that?
$41.50 is the code.
Wasn't this some of, the changes are because things were classified under different categories? But this includes, as I understand it, computer consultants, Avatar, which is a software used for assessment.
It also includes the computer software for our Access GIS system. Access GIS system online, the online mapping.
Is that an every year thing, or is that?
Yes.
Assessment. 2020, assessment, 2024, 36,600. Expenditures were 33,879. Proposed budget for 2025, 32,500. Legal. Budget in 2024, 20,000. Expenditures, 26,296. proposed budget for 2025, 45,000. Professional admin, proposed budget 2024, 144, 600. Expenditure is 94,615. Proposed budget for 2025, 157, 252.
The other employee benefits, what is that?
Other employee benefits includes life insurance, disability, long and short term, and FSA. The FSA is an employee-funded expense, so money gets withheld from the employee's account, which would be shown on the revenue side, and then the pre-tax, and then the town pays the bills out of that fund.
Sorry, I was too slow. Could someone speak to the anticipated increase in the legal expenses? Why that is?
Probably because of getting hold of them so much.
Why?
Don't know.
For all the right to knows, for all the needless shows that we had. There's much more, I'm sure.
25,000
You know what
though?
it is, and that's why it went up. It was a lot of legal situation that had to be taken care of.
I think what we saw was our legal expenses increased dramatically starting in September, and so we had to plan going forward that same rate.
So it's not necessarily a specific project, it's just projecting last year's only.
Primarily. I mean, I think there will be, some that are related to the specific project as well.
So, Chairman, do you know what that will cost them, my taxes? Per thousand?
Not right offhand, no.
No? Did you figure that out, Tom?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
What it will actually cost the taxpayers for that? How much our bill will go up?
Probably wouldn't have gone up nothing if we didn't have all these other little details that was needed.
I'm not making right to know.
Don't
So
worry about it.
I guess I want to
what
know,
you're doing.
for your information, it's going to go up.
Of course it's gonna go up.
But do you know how much, Tom?
No, I don't know how much.
Do you think that's your job to do that before you up something that high?
Probably, and I wish that you probably would have done the same thing when you were on the board.
We did. We figured out what all of our,
I'm sure you did. You did a great
so
job.
tell me. Because you said you were worried about when Jeanette asked for a raise, that you didn't want to burden the taxpayers with any more money.
Mhm.
Well, I'm going to tell you, for your legal fees, it will be $32 per thousand for it'll technically be what? 1.6. You're going to pay about $32 for a $200,000 tax and $48 for a $300,000 house. That's a lot. $32 and $48. That's a lot of money. Do we really need to keep it that high?
Right offhand, I don't know.
You know, when Jeanette should have gotten her raise, which she did not get, because she has to deal with all those right to knows. Hers would only have cost us, let's see, $8 a thousand. That's a big difference. From 48 to 8. I guess, and you guys cannot give us a good enough reason why legal has to answer all the questions.
I'd rather have legal answer the questions.
What?
I'd rather get a right answer from legal.
For everything?
If I have a question, I'm,
25,000, I'm paying for you to be there so you can use legal whenever you have a question instead of doing research and reading?
Municipal association.
What?
Instead of using the municipal association as well.
Yeah, we use that too. I'm just saying, that's a lot. And
I
where
suppose-
Tom made the statement, I'm sorry, the taxes, you can't have your raise because I think we burden the taxpayers enough. Well, I think that is a burden to me,
It is a burden, I agree.
so.
Well, I'm gonna chime in on this game here. Okay, point is you guys did 2 sessions in there, select board meeting, talking about Jeanette's raise. And it looks like she got the 3% that you had all originally voted, well, 2 of you did. So did, one said no, the other 2 said, no, one said yes, the other 2 said no, whatever. And she got a $19.50 raise per hour on the other 2 things.
I did.
No. Okay, so what the hell is going on here?
See, and this is also the issue, is
Right,
that,
it's like we're going from one thing to another instead of this. It's already been hashed out on grades and the legal, yes.
no, this is where you hash it out at the budget hearing.
This is the budget.
We already went through that
No,
section, nobody
they-
said anything.
No, they went through at a working session. This-
No,
we
on
were-
debts, on debts, we went through that
I'm speaking.
section. And we're on to another section now.
Hey, they started with the legal.
no question.
Well, I mean, other than hashing this through again, it's like, I do believe that you guys shouldn't be going to legal constantly for right to knows when you know what the law is on right to know. And if we're hashing it out, when Tom tried to blame a lot of that increase on the planning board, when it was $1,400 for the planning board, you acted like it was like this huge amount. And even the planning board doesn't understand why the lawyers charge $1,400 for one phone call.
It wasn't one phone call, sorry.
Oh, yeah, it was.
You guys had to look back, there was about 15,000, roughly, that was spent through legal before we got new legal.
8,000.
And, how much?
It was like 8 or 9,000,
And how much did the
I
planning
think it
board
was more
spend?
than that, but anyways,
1,400,
1,400.
a good share of it was.
$1,400. I saw it. It was $1,400. Well, did you look?
Yep.
And what did you see?
I saw, I think it was close to 15,000.
Is that true, Jeanette?
I will, get the paper out.
$15,000 to the planning board.
15, the planning board spent $15,000?
What did you say?
Absolutely not.
What's that?
$1,400.
No, not for the planning board, I'm not saying that.
Okay, you did, okay.
I hope you having fun. I know what you're trying to do, you're just trying to get me ticked off and quit again. You know, this.
No,
this-
it's our taxes.
Wait,
This is,
You're
you know,
pointing it all to Tom
yeah,
instead of
and I'll tell you,
Yeah, well, that's just Tom's the one who answered it.
And I handed all my rights.
Okay, I'm speaking to the board right now. I'm a resident.
I am
So
joking.
when you say, I know, but right now you're serving as a select board member. And so it's very insulting for you to turn a question back at me going, I know what you're doing. I know what game you're playing. I'm not playing a game. I looked through this, I looked through all of our legal expenses. And I heard what you had said about the planning board spending all this money and making all these phone calls and everything else. I checked up on it, it was $1,400. Planning board doesn't know why it costs $1,400. It was for about a 25-minute phone conversation. Then yes, legal went and did some other stuff. But, you know, but then you said that it was like 8,000 or 15,000. But then you took it back and you said, oh no, that wasn't for planning. But originally that's what you said.
No, I didn't say planning board.
Okay.
You didn't let me finish my statement. You look at your paper, you think what you want to think. I'm sorry.
Well, we can do it here at town meeting.
The
We can
bill
change it
This
at
is
town
a
meeting.
budget hearing.
I don't like it either. It's very disgusting that this bill is this high.
Yes, then it should
Yes,
go back.
It is.
Yeah.
Which is why we had a special town meeting to discuss it.
Where do we leave off anyway?
I'd like to say something, if I could.
Shoot.
I didn't get a $19 an hour raise, number one. Number two, nobody said anything about removing the 3% cost of living increase. Actually, Tom said, well, you guys already agreed on that, so I wasn't here. And Joe Beth did not say to remove it. The
I
10
corrected myself on that one.
Okay.
I said Joe Beth agreed, they said no.
The second time, you weren't at the other one.
I
So,
didn't say that.
so the one that they said no to was Joe Beth's proposal to give me a 10% increase.
Right.
It had nothing to do with the 3% increase, that is still on there. And I went back and looked at the meeting notes, and I asked Joe Beth, and that is exactly what happened. So I just want to make sure that that's clear. I'm not asking for anything huge here. I'm asking to be compensated for additional work that I've done for the town last year and will continue through this year. It has to all do with FEMA, all of the additional FEMA work. So, you know, I'm asking for something that would equal like a $6,500 raise when all of the additional work that I'm doing for FEMA, in addition to just fixing the roads, but putting in estimates so that we can do mitigation work so that the next time floods like this happen, our roads don't get washed away again. I mean, we can get millions of dollars to do the work, but someone's got to do the work first to say, this is what we need, this is what it's going to cost, this is what we're asking for. And I've taken that on. I don't mind taking that on, but I also would like to be compensated for the additional roles that I've taken on, like doing the assessing stuff when we had no assessor for an entire year. Helping the select board do more than I've had to do in the last 3 years as far as a TA. I'm not just saying, give me money because I want more. I've earned the town more than I've been paid. If the town chose to take all of the grant money and stuff that I've gotten the town awarded, I've earned the town probably, I don't know, 6 times or 8 times more than what I've been paid since I've been here. And I don't have a problem with that, Robin, because I'm here for the good of the town. I have no problem with that. I want the town to grow. I want the town to be better. I want the town to get the mitigation work done, because you're never going to get another opportunity to have $1 million worth of mitigation done for $250,000. Now's the time. Now's the time. Because we don't know what's going to happen with FEMA 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now. There may not even be a FEMA at the rate we're going. So if we're going to do it, now's the time to do it. But it's not going to happen unless the paperwork gets done and we go in and ask for it. That's my point. That's why I'm asking for a raise. That's why. I don't work part-time. I don't work 12 hours. I'm not an overpaid town clerk, as I've been called time and time again. I have my master's degree in business. I have 28 years construction experience. I know what I'm doing. But I want to be compensated for what I'm doing, and I don't think that that's an unfair request at all. Because everyone can benefit from it, and everyone should benefit from it. But I shouldn't be expected to continue to go above and beyond what my job description is, so that the town can benefit, and then be told I can't have a raise because we don't want someone with a $300,000 house to pay $12 more a year in taxes.
8.
It's 12, I think. But, I mean, that's my point. You know, it's not just, let's just give her a raise. I mean, I love what I do. I love working here. But I should be compensated for what I give to the town and what I do for the town. I don't think that that's unfair for anybody to ask.
I know I'm supposed to be talking to you guys, but I just wanted to clarify or to understand. So you think that she got a $19 an hour raise?
I have a piece of paper in the house, I will get it and bring it in, and it says $19 on the end.
$19.50 an hour is what the new town clerk tax collector will be paid.
So she didn't get $19 an hour raise?
She gets $19.50 an hour.
Well, I will if I get elected to that position, but I don't currently. Right now, I get paid $90 a week to do the tax collector job, and I get $18 an hour to do the town clerk job.
And you get a percentage, don't you?
No, I don't get a percentage of the taxes that I collect, no.
No, that isn't what I was saying. Don't you make something on the, when you do it, what is it? Registration.
No, I don't get anything from doing registrations. No, I get nothing. I get no percentage of anything in any pay whatsoever. I'm not sure where that came from. I think I heard it a year or two ago. And no, I get no percentage of anything. That's what the town gets. I don't get $2 for every. I don't get $2.
We pay the town whatever it is, $71, or then the state gets that.
The $2 administration fee for town clerk
That's what they're asking.
goes to the town.
Right.
Yeah, I don't get a fee. No, that administrative fee gets paid to the town. Yeah, I don't get that. I get fees if I have to do additional things such as leaning or deeding or other legal things for tax collector. But those fees don't come out of the town budget, even though they're in there. They have to be in the budget in order to be spent, but they return to the town on the revenue side because the people who are getting liened or deeded pay those fees. Those fees are paid when, those are the first things that are paid if someone gets a lien on their property. The first payment they make takes care of the fee, and everything else goes towards their taxes, penalties, and interest. Fees always get paid first. So even though I may get fees for doing tax collector stuff, it's not coming out of the town's pocket. It comes from the person who has a lien or a deed on their property. It's just shown here because it has to be shown here as an expense. But it comes back on the revenue side in taxes, fees, and penalties. Okay?
Still don't think we should get a raise because there's tons of other people I know that work just as hard and everything else, and they're not getting anything. Not saying it's here in town.
Well, I think that those people should advocate for themselves and ask for what they're worth.
Nobody else knows it's a hard year too.
Yeah, it's hard on everybody, me included.
And I think we should make an adjustment. Take it off legal and put it into hers. Do we really need to have 25,000 going to legal? Well, so an additional 25,000. You want to do it here or town meeting? Do it at town meeting.
I think we finished personnel administration. So you're on planning board. Yes.
Planning board, budget $1,000 for 2024, expenditures $1,386. proposed budget for 25, 1,250. Government buildings. Proposed budget for 2024, 38,500. Expenditures, 48,243. Proposed budget for 2025, 38,350. Cemetery, proposed budget, we got budget for 2024, 11,500. Expenditures for 7,820. Proposed budget for 2025, 16,330.
Hello?
What's the advertising?
For which, I'm sorry,
The cemetery, professional technical services advertising.
we have to advertise cemetery cleanup in the newspaper.
Okay.
We have to pay for that.
$6,000?
No, the other part is survey. We need St. John's Cemetery, is it John's River or St. John's?
John's River.
John's River Cemetery needs to be surveyed and the plots need to be set up so that we can sell them. We have people who are looking for plots there.
Insurance budget for 2024, 29,400. Expenditures, 29,432. Proposed budget for 2025, 33,464. Police, 2024, 17,500. Expenditures, 10,873. Proposed budget, 17,500. Ambulance, 2024, 20,000. Expenditures, 17,500. Proposed budget for 2025, 20,000.
Is that the contract? Like it's an annual?
It's a contract.
Yeah.
It's a small deal.
It is a small.
Fire EMS, 2024, 74,700. Expenditures, 83,546. 2025 budget, 75,216.
What's that question?
So, the increase in that fire thing, we had an opportunity this fall to put 6 people into an EMT class in Whitfield, which we did.
Yep.
They're going to be finishing up sometime toward the end of March. They're being, the class is like over $10,000 to put them through that. It was paid out of the budget last year, however, we put in a grant to get reimbursed for that amount of money, so when they finish up the class, we'll be taking $10,000, a little over $10,000 back in to offset that. So technically, we're under budget. And we're gonna gain, I put an EMT on today, all the ones out of the class where for some reason, all of a sudden, we've gone from a couple of EMTs up to like 9 EMTs, so for Dalton, that's, I can't explain the growth, but I'm real happy about it, so. It's pretty awesome. Caring people. Yeah, pretty awesome.
Public safety, 2024, 2,200. Expenditures, 1,050. Proposed budget for 2025, 11,333.
Want to know why?
Yes.
Well, I just don't know what the piece is.
Public safety.
So that's just in general.
It's just well, no, it's public safety supplies or other, that, you see the increase in that because it's time for us to redo our emergency operation plan and hazard mitigation plan. We also have a grant that is, going to offset that, so it's like $9,000 we have to pay, and we get a grant back for like 8,500 or something. Because it's small, because it's under $10,000, it has to go into the budget and then into the revenue side.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Airports. Budget for 2024, $500. Expenditures, $495. Budget, proposed budget for 2025, $250.
Thank God they've got a really good manager there.
Highway, budget for 2024, $347,400. Expenditures, $388,574. Proposed budget for 2025, $465,790. Robin?
Yes, where's the money on here that we spent on materials and the equipment and the hired?
We'll get there.
So it's gonna show up on the budget somewhere?
We will get there.
In order?
We will get there, yes. A small portion of it is included in this amount, but very small.
Transfer station,
Streetlights.
Streetlights. Budget for 2024, $1,700. Expenditures, $1,485. Proposed budget for 25, $1,700. Transfer station. 2024 budget, $58,200. Expenditures, $56,185. Proposed budget for 25, $64,670. Sewer pumping station. Budget for 2024, $19,000. Expenditures, $23,968. Proposed budget for 2025, $25,900.
I think I know, but, so that whole section, just the people that are on the sewer, pay for all of that, or?
Yeah.
Is that?
No. The people who use the sewer pay for the processing bills that we get from Lunenburg.
Okay.
That is what they pay. I believe that the town by law is required to cover the other expenses.
Pest control. Budget 2024, $500. Expenditures, $585. Proposed budget for 25, $575. Health. 2024 budget, $3,900. Expenditures, $750. 2025 budget, $2,910. Welfare, 2024, $7,300. Expenditures, $6,573. Proposed 2025 budget, $7,833. Recreations and parks. Proposed budget 2024, $529. And nothing. For expenditures, and then proposed budget for 2025, $100. Library, 2024, $15,971. Expenditures, $15,281. Proposed budget, $15,971. Conservation Commission, $1,500 in 2024. Expenditures, $300. Proposed budget 2025, $2,000.
And I received an email from, I thought Ernie was gonna be here tonight, but I received an email from John saying that they were decreasing their budget from 2,000 to 1,600.
You don't happen to know exactly what conservation spends that on, do you?
Those are classes, membership dues, if they want to send out informational mailings or anything.
15,562 received, anticipated 20,000.
That's actually land use change tax. We don't include property tax revenue we don't include property tax receipts in revenue. So just so you know. You're okay.
I read the wrong line.
You're okay.
The timber tax. Received 5,802, anticipated 6,000. Tax payment in lieu of taxes, $200,000 received, anticipated 138,000.
And who's the pilot coming from?
Ampersand, Gilman.
Was that negotiated down, or is there a formula to get that?
It was negotiated this year.
Excavation tax, $2,000, $2,043 received, anticipated $2,000. Tax sewer, 9516 received, anticipated $19,488.
That's the incoming sewer taxes for the people who use the sewer system, the 19,488, that's what they pay for using the sewer.
Penalties and interest received was $18,555, anticipated $20,000.
That's where my fees would be included in the revenue. Or the tax collector's fees, I should say.
Motor vehicle permit fees, $228,921 received, anticipated $220,000. Dog license funds, nothing there. Dog license revenue, $1,222 received, anticipated $1,200. Vital statistics, $291 received, $300 anticipated. Other fees, UCC, yes, what are those?
They're the UCC user fees. Is it Charter? I think it's Charter Communications. They pay fees, licensing fees to us.
received was 1146, with the anticipated 1150. Other permit license fees received was $1,267, anticipated $750. Subdivision fees received $516, anticipated $500. Rooms and meals tax received was $92,461, anticipated $80,000.
Just, I'm sure, what's the thought about that dropping?
What's that?
What's the thought behind it dropping?
I think the state, there's some formula, it's not what we earn in the town, but it's the way the state distributes their revenue, and state revenue is down, and they're tightening up their budget, so we can't predict precisely, but we didn't think it was gonna go up or stay the same, so we thought it was safer to anticipate a cut.
And,
Look, just trying to understand.
and was it $92,000 more than we've received in the past?
Yes.
Highway block grant received was $70,062, anticipated $60,000. There's nothing in the line, you want me to read it?
No, you don't need to.
Okay. State, federal, forest and lands received $214, anticipated $200. Railroad tax received was $25, anticipated $25. State revenue, ARPA, what's that?
ARPA funds, grant,
Received $14,797, anticipated nothing. Pistol permits received were $50, anticipated $50. Charges for service, $31, received, anticipated $30. Charges for service,
Board of Selectmen charges for service.
$43 received, $40 anticipated. Election revenue received was $970, anticipated $250. Transfer station revenue bags received was $20,518, anticipated $16,000.
So that dollar amount, the received amount is actually closer to 27,000, but we pay 25% of the revenue received from the blue bags into the pay per bag fund, which is a different bank account. So there was $6,839 that was taken out of that received revenue because it went into a separate fund. It did not go into operating funds. Similar, sorry, Eric, similar, a land use change tax also, the $15,562 was the first number. There was an equal amount paid to the Dalton Conservation Commission. 50% of land use change taxes fund the commission, or go into the commission fund for their use, I should say.
So is that a state requirement?
It's not a state requirement. It was voted on. It was a warrant that was voted on,
Back in the 80s?
yeah, quite a while back ago.
So by the town?
Yep. Managed by DRA, and they make sure we do it.
Sure.
Sorry, transfer station, demo debris.
So, Same question as before, thought process behind it decreasing, same number of residents, if not more, same probably amount of trash. Less of revenue going back, or anticipated,
For the bags.
2518 versus 16,000. I'm a sales guy, so when revenues go down,
Yeah, I get it. I don't remember, and I didn't write it down on my sheet here. We went over the revenues in one of the working sessions with the board. I couldn't, maybe one of the board members remembers why we,
Was it
I'm sure the reason is just.
last year? And it was higher, I mean, it was less in 2023 and higher in 2024? I'm not remembering the details either.
I'm not remembering. There's a reason why there was a consensus to go to 16. That reason, I don't remember. Sorry. No one else remembers either.
Did the bags get more expensive?
Well, no, then the number would have gone up.
These are revenues.
Yes, if the bags got more expensive, we would charge more,
Oh,
our revenues would be higher. You're not a salesman.
I just understood what you said about
Oh.
$6,000. I assumed that was for the bags.
Well, the 6,000, so 25% of the revenue goes into a separate account.
Right.
But why?
Yeah.
Because that's how we pay for the bags when we need to order them.
Right.
We make sure that it's kind of a self-sustaining fund. Yep. Yep.
Revenue demo debris received was 11,984, anticipated 12,000. Revenue on tires, $95 received, anticipated $100. Bulbs received was $2, anticipated $10. Revenue computer and
Electronics.
electronics received was $60, anticipated $50. Small appliances received was $240, anticipated $225. Revenue net recycling metal received was $14.99, anticipated $1,500. Revenue, furniture revenue received was $213, anticipated $200. Sales of property, $145,466, anticipated $17,700. Interest checking account received was $7,337, anticipated revenue $2,000. Other miscellaneous revenue received was $1,408, anticipated $1,500. That's it.
I guess I'd like you guys to educate me just a little bit here. When we look at the difference of, the net variance from last year to what we're putting the budget this year, it's 183,000. And the revenues are down by about 230,000, which then makes, I'm gonna say somewhere about 413,000. The difference, does that mean that the town's taxes will be increased by $413,000, or we have to go to the residents to get another $413,000, or is that not correct?
The difference between the revenue and the appropriations goes to taxes. That's how much we have to raise in taxes. One thing to note about the $852,000 in revenue, there was a flip because we sold quite a bit of tax-free properties, so it's, 145,000.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I guess I'm just trying to figure out what the overall summary of this means to us as a town and as taxpayers. And that was just my question, so if there's about a $415,000 difference that we have to make up, is there other money that comes in, or this is gonna go right and you're gonna take the valuation of all of our properties and divide it by that, and that's the increase?
So there are a couple things that we look on the appropriation side, and make some adjustments. The highway expenditures, like the personnel, there's an increase in personnel costs of about $53,000 to cover hiring summer workers to help get the mitigation work done. That should be reimbursed, but the reimbursement's not going to show up on revenue. Some of the equipment, like about $52,000 for the backhoe and the excavator, we're hoping to get reimbursed from FEMA on that. And I think a lot of the other highway department expenditures will be reimbursed. So with the FEMA mitigation money that should come in, the balance should look much better, but we can't anticipate it. And Jeanette can probably talk about more of the detail in terms of where we are on that.
Where's the TAN money come in here?
The TAN money doesn't go onto the budget for revenue.
Okay, now where's the allowance for payment for the TAN money?
I'm sorry, say that again?
The allowance for payment for the TAN money.
It's basically a wash. The TAN money is money that you get with the tax anticipation revenue. So it's basically a wash. The only thing that we take into consideration on the budget is the interest. So that's why you saw the interest expense.
Okay, no, you won't pay that expense at the end of it. But you got to get, it's not on the budget, so.
The interest is on the budget, but
The interest is on the budget?
yes, it is.
Okay.
Yep, if you go back to the last page of the expenses, other financial uses, debt service, principal. I know it says principal, that's what they put on the description, but that's actually for interest. We had an $800 budget for 24. In 24, we are 24 for 23's TAN, which we never needed. So there was no expenditures in 24.
Could you tell me what line it is?
Yep, it's the very last one on the expenditures budget. It should be your second page in the back.
Okay. Okay, so you're $306,000.
That's what we're anticipating, depending on when we pay it back, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
No.
Is there any other questions regarding the expenditures or the revenue that we went over? Nope. Okay. So as far as the flood damage goes, we spent approximately $539. We spent $528,850. That's based on the direct labor, material as well, and then contractors. We had owned materials in the shop and in the highway yard that are valued at approximately $10,600 to come up with a total of the repair work for the emergency roads, the emergency road work at $539,448. That's what we've spent to date. And the roads are not complete. You want to take questions as I go, or you want to?
Where did that money come out of?
That's a good question. It came out of our operating funds. Most of the road work that was done by the highway crew, effective July 10th or 11th, was road repair. So any work that would have normally been done to the roads is being reimbursed to us by FEMA because it went to the emergency road repair and not just road maintenance and road repair. So that helped a lot. It was a big chunk of money there. The other money came from capital reserves. Here we go. Capital reserve funds, we withdrew $420,000. Most of that money came out of the paving reserve fund. According to DRA, the description on the paving reserve fund allowed us to utilize that stone to pave the roads. And since our roads are done with dirt and stone, we paved the roads. So a large amount came out of paving, and then we had some other smaller capital reserve withdrawals. The fire department EMS got a new monitor, a refurbished monitor. We did work in the building. That came out of the building capital reserve fund. So we took money out of capital reserve funds for everything that we could, or almost everything that we could. It was quite a balancing act, trying to make sure that we kept enough money in the bank and were able to pay the employees and the contractors and the suppliers while they were providing us with the work, while the work was ongoing. At the end of the day, started to get pretty tight, so did some work and contacted DRA, letting them know the situation that we were in, that we had overspent our approved appropriations, and so that's where a lot of the capital reserve fund withdrawal came, and then we also tapped into our unassigned fund balance with DRA for $175,000 to make sure that we did not overspend what was in our budget at the end of the day. So the operating budget was $1,009,300. Our operating budget expenditures was $1,473,467.73, which put us over budget by $464,167.73. Deducting the capital reserve funds that we were able to withdraw, and then the $175,000 fund balance that was made available to us through DRA, we ended up with a positive balance of $131,216.18 at the end of the year.
So where does that go?
Where does what go?
The 131,000.
I'm going to make the assumption that it stays in the fund balance because we didn't utilize it.
Now would that have to be a town vote?
Nope, it's done through DRA.
So the fund balance we're required to keep for DRA. There's a range.
So I take it, we were very fortunate that we had such a large fund balance.
Yes.
And I don't know if you guys recall the last town meeting where where there was a vote trying to get the operating, or the additional funds to pay our taxes. And thank goodness, to reduce our taxes for last year, thank goodness we didn't do it because we would have been in a bind.
Yeah, we're required by DRA to have between 5 and 17% in our fund balance. And that's basically what it's for, is for emergencies. If you end up with more than that in your fund balance, the select board can vote to utilize some of that to decrease taxes, but you never know when you're gonna have an emergency. So, yeah, we're pretty lucky, and we're still, even if we had utilized the full 175,000, we still fell in a comfortable spot in that 5 to 17% range.
Now, when we get money back from FEMA, does it go back to the capital reserve fund, or does it go somewhere else? I don't know how that.
So when we start receiving funds back from FEMA, we have to have meetings. There'll be public hearings because it's considered unanticipated revenue. So we'll have to have meetings, and I believe in those meetings, it will be discussed and determine where those funds go. I started to speak with DRA about replenishing the paving capital reserve fund and stuff like that. And I think she said that it would have to be decided on by the town. So I'm not sure if that's something that we would receive the unanticipated funds, put them in general revenue, and then at the next town meeting have a warrant that says we want to take this money and put it back over here. I'm not sure if it has to wait that long, or because I think it has to be a vote, and you're not going to have a vote at every public hearing.
And so is that a decision that the select board makes and puts that to a warrant article for us to vote on?
I believe that's.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the
It's like
select board.
like vehicles.
Right.
We might sell them early in the year, but at the next town meeting, we would have a motion to move the revenue into a
Yeah.
capital reserve fund.
And we did that last year with the fire department and the highway department when we auctioned those couple vehicles. So, I mean, a couple of good things, regarding the FEMA stuff is they look at what our expenses were, and then they kind of true it up to make sure that our expenses are being covered and that any expenses that we may have missed are being covered. They pay 75% of what the cost is. So obviously, there's a chunk of money that the town has to come up with in order to do the work and get the funding. Some of that can be done, or all of it actually can be done in labor or in equipment or material. So the way I'm looking at it is that really these are expenses that we would normally incur in a regular budget year. So I don't foresee us trying to get this additional work, this additional mitigation work really costing us anything extra, because it's going to be what we're working on. So, Adam had his budget went up to, what was it, 380 or something like that. I mean, there's a good portion of that should be considered part of our 25% of the FEMA money, or should be reimbursed by FEMA. So taking advantage of being able to get the mitigation done is a good idea. If one, we can do it, we have the funds to do it, which is why I'm trying to get stuff moving along with FEMA on some of the smaller projects. And two, if we have the manpower to do it, the manpower or contractors or, now's a good time. Smith Road, we're working with engineers on that. That'll go out to bid. It'll be a large contractor that comes and does that work. It won't be us. And FEMA will pay 75% of that. So there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. But if we plan right, I think we can take advantage. Right now, all the work is supposed to be done by February 20th of 2026. But I've been speaking with FEMA stateside, and they said that we could definitely put in for an extension. They would be able to give us a 6-month extension, which gets us through summer of next year, which puts us even in a better position if we can have to do with the budget No, other than the solar that she just mentioned.
And the ones that were up on the.
And the other ones that I just went over.
And those, there were no change from those from
Yeah, sure.
last year.
That's,
So those are warrant articles. Okay, I did not understand that.
Oh, yeah, these are the warrant articles for the capital reserve.
like, wait, it took me a second.
Yeah, these are the capital reserve warrant articles, sorry.
Except
That's
for
why
the
I'm like,
bottom
yes, we
three.
went over them. What?
Except for the bottom three.
Except for the bottom.
It doesn't say capital reserve.
It
It's
says-
CRF. Sorry, I didn't have enough room to put capital reserve. It's CRF is capital reserve. You're welcome. Any other questions? Stuff I went over?
Do you have the paper bag one?
The paper bag is not a capital reserve fund. It's a separate fund altogether.
But we used to have that as a warrant article.
We did, but either last year or the year before, we changed it from being a capital reserve fund to being like basically a revolving fund.
Yep.
And so now we can just put money in, but we don't have to put it as a warrant article every year. So we just take 25% of the bag revenue and put it in there, paper bags out.
Anything else?
I just remember all those weird ones that everybody asks questions for every year, and it's like, your last name, like, I don't understand. You come out as a piece of paper this week.
It's because we were supposed to meet last week, and then DRA hasn't even looked at warrant articles yet.
So that I can hand it out to people, and that's not. So I can hand them this money one, but I can't hand them the warrant articles.
Yes.
Will that be on the website?
Once it's approved, yes. It hasn't even gone to DRA yet. That's all I am. If anyone has any questions about anything else, I don't know. No questions? You can adjourn the hearing then.
All adjourned,
Don't leave.
Want me to break down the room? Put away?
Sure, if you want to.
No, I'll take care.
Okay.
Mhm.
Alright. So I did get a price, I did ask them what it would cost if we wanted the cover, the color. It's like an extra $180 or $200 to do that. Just so you know.
And I'm trying to remember how much it usually costs.
It's usually about 800, it's usually like 7 something.
You said last week, 780.
7, yeah, it's like 780 or something, so it would be like almost, I don't know, 9. I have the email.
So it'd be like 150 or 200.
It'd be like $200 more.
Looks better in color.
It does.
It does.
Okay, so, there's the cover.
Yeah, it does have a better impact.
Just,
Seems like it,
just the front page. I mean, we're not doing the whole thing, so it's,
yeah.
phone numbers, contact information, office hours. I updated all this stuff. There wasn't much to update. I changed. You guys see it? Is it big enough?
Yeah.
Okay. Annual report dedication. This is the, for the road repairs. There's the cake. There's Vic St. Cyrs, dedication and picture. Here is a copy of the fund balance, unassigned fund balance approval from DRA. This will space saver for the warrant and the budget, which we don't have yet. MS 61. Let me know if I need to slow down. Town clerk's report.
Fancy feeling better?
She's got norovirus. So she's like, yeah, I'm told that I could be contagious 10 to 14 days, so she didn't come in. I emailed her the treasurer's report, and she said that she was good with it. So there's the treasurer's report.
Go back, please. Okay, that's the town clerk report, right?
Yep, yeah, that's a town clerk report.
Yep.
Treasurer's report. Here is the MS9, which is basically the report for the trustees.
Not my attention.
This is the report for the trustees of the trust funds. I'll try to mess with this to get it onto one page. It wasn't cooperating, and I started to get frustrated and said, forget it.
Sometimes we have to do it landscape.
That's what I was trying to do, and it wasn't cooperating. And I said, I don't have the patience for this right now, so yeah. Tax rate breakdown for 2024. Annual report for the select board. Dalton Fire. Highway Department. Conservation Commission. Planning Board. Librarians report. Financial report for the library. Friends of Dalton Town Hall. Annual report for the Dalton Historical Society. The report of the Forest Fire Warden and State Forest Ranger. Mount Washington Regional Airport. Connecticut River Joint Commission. They used to do a one-page report for each location or each section, and now they just do one. So it's a two-page report. North Country Council. There's the independent auditor's report. Vitals, death report. The bottom, birth report. I tried to get that bigger too, I couldn't. I'll try again. Resident marriage report.
No babies this year?
Only one. Only one reported. State police. Had to condense that. That was 3.5 pages. And then the town meeting minutes from last March. And then those who haven't paid their property taxes. And that's 5 pages. And then town officers is back. And this is town officers for 2024, so. That's it.
It looks good. I don't think there's anything else.
There shouldn't be, because I went through the report from last year and made sure I had everything there covered, and then added the fund balance thing. And
We've gone through the NHMA checklist.
we went
last
through the
meeting.
NHMA checklist to make sure we had everything. So we had everything that was on that list. So I think we're good. It's just getting the warrant and the budget done with DRA, and
I don't know about Joe Beth. The cover page. looks a little better.
Color?
Yeah.
But I make a motion that we approve having Jeanette submit the annual report with a color front page to the printer when she has the warrants and the MS 636 completed.
I'll second it. All in favor? Aye.
Aye. And then, we already approved these plans, we just need to sign them over here, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's not
Yeah, and I don't think Tom didn't sign it, but David's gonna be here next week, so he can always sign it then.
And we just need two to sign it.
Yes. Yeah, David will be here next week to kind of go over it and answer any questions about the process and what's going on next. 13th? Today's the 13th, yes it is.
So on that warrant for the registration fee, I think we have to have a public hearing for that, don't we?
I don't think so. I think it can just be done at town meeting.
Okay, maybe, gotta check again. I'll check by Monday.
Yeah, I think it can just be done at town meeting.
Because we've already had the public hearings for the community power.
Yes. I don't know where the email is from. You guys already approved it. It was like $200 to do the cover.
Yeah.
So once everything is done and I have the total pages, he'll be able to give me the concrete number.
Because it could vary depending on number of pages.
On the number of pages. I think it was like 56 pages because that's what we had the last couple of years. And then obviously there's variables in there. Have to add an extra page because the way they fold or whatever.
Yeah, because we're probably up close to that or over now.
I think we're at like 52 and that didn't include the warrant.
Which will be
the,
usually 2 or 3 pages, and the
at
MS
least.
636 is usually 4 pages.
Yeah.
So we'll be over.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be higher anyway.
Yep. Is there anything else in the working session?
I think so.
I don't think so.
I think just signing that anyway, going over the report.
Yeah, I think that was it. I'm just trying to think if anything came up since Monday. But if so, and I mean, I guess we're not meeting for a week, but we don't meet Monday,
We don't, all that's right,
Thursday.
holiday.
Can you let me know when payroll is ready to be signed? And you're expecting it to be by like Wednesday morning?
Oh, I'll have it. I'll have checks. I should have checks cut on Tuesday. Just depends on how busy it is.
Oh, okay.
It's middle of the month, so usually it's not too busy. Oh, my God.
I make a motion to adjourn.
We never even went to order.
We should, well,
Yeah, we did.
We
At
did.
8:47.
Oh, we did?
yeah.
Yes.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
I remember Thursday.
Yeah, if you come here Monday, I won't be here.
Put it in your calendar.
sorry, but otherwise, you couldn't do the MS. I make a motion that we approve the budget as currently drafted.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Now we're done?
I hope so.
Now you're gonna
I'm
motion
glad
to
I'm glad I
adjourn?
remembered that though.
Yeah, me too.
That's- That was kind of the key thing.
Are you gonna officially adjourn it again?
I make a motion to officially adjourn.
9:01 PM.
All in favor?
Aye.
Are you in favor?
We're having too much fun.